Hey,
That's
everybody. Happy Thursday.
Hey!
We have our doctor live today. Today we're talking about gut health. So I have something that I looked up, and here's a stat for you. 90% of our gut's visceral nerves carry information from the gut to the brain where it's interpreted as emotions. So I'm sure that we'll get into that, but did you know that the emotions that you have or the emotions that you start carrying are actually primarily coming from your gut in the first place? So like the trust your gut, I assume that that's probably where that came from.
Yep.
But okay, so let's go ahead and talk Chantal. So this is her. You come on and you see us talk about different things all the time. Gut health is her jam. Okay, so gut health is
Yeah.
what she loves to talk about. She loves to nerd out on, right? And that's what
Yes.
we're going to be talking about. So I think the first question that I have is, what are the symptoms of bad gut health?
Okay. Well, the first thing I want to say first is everything that you're dealing with comes first from your gut. Because all the nutrients that you take from your mouth goes in your gut and then is distributed wherever it needs to be. So, I mean, everything starts from there. And when you have a gut that's not optimal, you're going to have some symptoms. It can start from, the symptoms of a gut that's not working well. Constipation, diarrhea, bloating. That's the regional symptoms that you're going to have if something's going on in your gut. But other things is allergies, asthma, respiratory problems. After that, you can have inflammation. You can have after the headaches. That goes with digestion also. It can go. You can have IBS, Crohn's. There's a lot of stuff. Well, there's a lot of stuff. For me, everything starts with the gut.
Yeah.
It starts there. Then if there is not optimal, it goes everywhere else. Our gut is our second brain, So that's why physically and emotionally also is when our gut is not healthy. Because 70%, no, not even 70%, I think it's 85% of our serotonin starts to be secreted in our gut. Our mind is not also.
Oh, interesting. One of the things that you went through there was talking about respiratory problems coming from the gut. That I had never put.
Yes.
I never would have thought that. What is that like?
Well, it's because what happens is when you start having let's say you're taking antibiotics and you destroy the bacteria in your gut. Okay. So after that, it takes a long time for it to, the lining to come back, especially if you don't take pre and probiotics, which we're going to talk after that. And it's been proven now that most of the time when people have asthma, they also have relief in antacids. So it is related. It is the sort of there's a type of white cells, immune white cells that are secreted in our gut that's directly related to our respiratory system, and other ones are related to our inflammation system and things like that. So there's 5 or 6 types of different IG. It's called IG, the type. It's AE, IgG, IG, whatever. So it's each type of white cells goes to a specific system, but it starts in the gut.
Okay.
It all starts in the gut, and after that,
Wow.
depending on the message that it's sending, it's going to distribute to a system or another.
All right. So let's talk about pre and probiotics because those have gotten a very heavy marketing message from them, but or about them.
Yeah.
But I don't think that just along with antioxidants and inflammation, people don't really know what it means. What does a prebiotic do, and what does a probiotic do, and why do we need them?
Okay, depending on the type of food that you eat, the environment that you're in, if you've taken medication, if you've taken antibiotics, it's not just the antibiotics, by the way, it's most of the medication that destroy the gut flora in the long run. But the gut flora has a mucus lining that protects the intestines from leaking. Leaking means the wall of the intestines thins, and then you lose the nutrients in the long run. So you become malnourished because of that. So we need to always have an optimal count of bacteria, because it protects our gut from outside pathogens. At the same time, good bacteria fight bad bacteria. So it protects our immune system. It protects our gut flora. It protects everything. So you're healthier. You have less pathogens that stick to you. You have less sickness when you have a healthy gut flora.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't eat fermented food, you don't have most of the time enough good bacteria to do that. So you need to take probiotics. Okay. So probiotics are the good bacteria that's going to stay in your gut and help decompose the nutrients. That's going to help fight the bad bacteria, etc., etc. But for that, you need an optimal environment for them to thrive. So that comes in the prebiotics. Prebiotics are composed, their components are mostly a little bit of sugar with that, because we know that the bacteria feed on sugar, but it's not any type of sugar. It's a good quality nutrient sugar. So the bacteria are going to thrive on that type of prebiotic. So first thing, you're always going to have the optimal
fruits and vegetables.
Exactly. So it's going to help expand the quantities of your probiotics, of your good bacteria, to redo your gut health.
Nice.
There's a delay, eh?
One of the things. There's a big delay. Yeah, people are watching, probably noticing there's a delay. There's not usually this delay. We're having a big one. So one of the things that you were mentioning was medications, like not just antibiotics. Antibiotics are like what is mentioned the most, but other medications do this as well. Would any of those medications be like over? I was going to ask you if freaking ibuprofen would be one of them.
Yeah.
Would that be one? Started yelling.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, cool. That's so something that people probably take a lot of.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. That's and most of the time when you have an injury, the medication that's in naproxen or something, like everything that you need to take with food means that it's irritant for your stomach. So that's the first key.
Okay, right.
That you need to ask yourself. If they're telling you to take it with food, that means that it's doing something to your gut.
Wow. And Jenny said that this has helped because she's drinking the juice, and she said that it's helped with her own leaky gut, which is awesome.
Yes.
That's what let's go into what before we go into how the juice would help. Let's first talk about what is, and we kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but what does poor gut health lead to? What would that potentially lead to? Like, what's real life for somebody that has had poor gut health, which you guys is probably like most of the population has poor gut health just because of what we consume. It's just probably the truth,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But what is that going to lead to potentially for them?
Okay. Well, it can start with respiratory problems like asthma or chronic bronchitis or things like that. That's for the respiratory problems. But for the gut problems per se, well, it goes to IBS, Crohn's, colite ulcéreuse, ulcers, peptic ulcers. You can go problems with the kidneys, problems also with anything inflammation. You name it, it starts there.
Because a lot of our immune system lives in there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And fibromyalgia also is something. Is what, most of the time it starts with the gut. They start having some problems with digestion, so they take antacids, then it degenerates because it's not, it's not controlled. So it's, and boom, you got the fibromyalgia going on, and then after that you've got also most of the time they go for anti-inflammatories for fibromyalgia, and it goes after that with some antidepressants because the gut is not going good, and so the head is not going good, and it's a vicious circle after that,
Oh my gosh. That's why people are on medications for symptoms of other medications that they're on. And now all of a sudden they're on like 5 medications just to treat one thing.
And
so gross. It's so
5
gross.
medication is not a lot nowadays.
I know, right? Oh my word. Well, let's talk about this. How does the juice help with our gut health? I know you were mentioning that it's basically like a prebiotic, which I didn't even realize before you mentioned it before. Can you explain like how the juice can help people with their gut health?
Well, yeah, it helps as a prebiotic. It helps propagate and absorb the probiotics. So you're going to have an optimal environment for them to thrive and cultivate and continue, helping with the gut, the mucus lining in the gut. But at the same time, it helps with the inflammation in the gut.
Yeah.
So you have, that's the main reason people see some good results is for the inflammation first of all.
Mm-hmm.
Because it helps with the lining in the gut. So if you control the inflammation in the gut, well, your stools are better. We're going to talk about poop a little bit. Your stools are better, and your stools are better. That means you're absorbing more nutrients. That's the main thing. So when you have good, how can I say, good quality stools?
When you got those good hard poops.
Yeah. I mean, and a good quantity at the same time. Well, that means that you're absorbing your nutrients. You're not leaving anything behind, So I mean, your health is going to be better just for that. So it helps with inflammation, but in the long run, it helps also with the absorption of the nutrients that you're taking, absorbing in your food. So you've got prebiotics that helps the culture of the probiotics, and you have the control of the inflammation. That helps with the nutrient absorption. And you have the nutrients also in the juice.
Right, exactly. The nutrients to absorb are also there. Oh, that's awesome.
Exactly.
So I know that there are some people that just sort of live life in a constant state of diarrhea. Let's just talk about it. I know that there are some people.
Yeah, we're talking about that anyways.
Let's just talk poop. Let's do it. But I know that there are some people that just live pretty much day to day in a constant state of diarrhea or loose poop.
Yeah.
What would you, I know that you would have to ask like specific questions per person, but what we know for certain based on what you've said so far is they're not absorbing nutrients and they're probably very likely malnutrition. Would you agree with that?
Exactly. For sure.
So that's
for sure.
And inflammation is probably insane within those people as well, because their body's just like, why would their body do that? Why would their body just kind of flush everything out like that? Is it because their inflammation is so high, or what would be, I guess it would be, everybody would be different. I'm asking.
Everybody would be different, but the main thing that they have in common is the lining wall in the small intestine that's not optimal.
Okay.
Why? Because usually it starts with leaky gut, and then it degenerates in something else if it's not treated properly, it's not taken care of properly.
I see.
So, and it could start with the cause could be medication, could be antibiotics, could be what they're eating. It could be lots of stuff.
Yeah.
But the main reason is most of the time they have at least a symptom of the leaky gut syndrome.
Okay. Yeah. Oh my goodness. So we've already seen a lot of people, and Jenny mentioned it earlier. Jenny said, my son stripped all his good gut flora with taking antibiotics for ear infections while he was young, led to leaky gut for him. Yeah. So and her son is actually drinking the juice now too, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And he's losing a bunch of weight and he's feeling good and all of this stuff. But really it's not magic, right? It's not magic. It's just nutrients. It's being able to, it's taking in the nutrients, but then also being able to absorb the nutrients, right? And then flush out the toxins.
Exactly. Yeah. And one of the main symptoms that people don't see when they have a problem or leaky gut syndrome is weight gain.
Mm-hmm.
Weight gain is one of the symptoms of first of all, malnutrition. And because everything that your body is lacking of, if you give them a little, they're going to start. Yeah. Because, they're starving them all the time.
Yeah.
So that's so when you start giving good nutrition, good nutrients to your body and start, healing the gut, that's something you should do first before anything else, even before weight loss. Take care of your gut. After that, everything's gonna, flow.
Right.
Everything's gonna flow.
It all just happens at that point. Like it's sort
exactly.
It just all falls into place. And I'm glad that you brought that up. We have the 11-day cleanse that's coming up that anybody, if they want to still get involved, you can get involved. So we're going to go through 11 days of teaching you about nutrition. Chantal is going to take some of the things. I'm just going to teach like basic nutrition and such. We're coming from a paleo approach, which is going to be whole foods. It's going to a place of nutrition before the industrial age. It's nutrition before we started processing all of these foods and eating things that are frankenfoods, right? That are not really even food or made to look or taste like food. So what we're doing is we're going to be able to derive nutrients. Your body will change. First of all, your body will thank you. And then your body will change. And you'll be able to start actually feeling good again. So because your gut is going to be healthier, now your brain is going to function better. You're not going to have your brain fog. You're not going to have like, what was I just thinking about? Like those things, or where you just can't even focus or concentrate. And then especially with your emotions, like we were talking about, it leads to anxiety and depression when you have leaky gut, right? Like the toxins refer up to your brain, and they refer, inflammation in your brain refers as depression, you guys. It doesn't refer as pain in your brain. It refers as depression, right, Chantal?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Yes. Yes, you are.
Okay.
Right.
Am I saying the right words here? Oh my word. I'm off my soapbox now. Jenny said a lot of kids like my son with autism have leaky gut, and it helps to heal the brain also. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of kids that are on the spectrum, it's a lot of it has to do with their gut. Chantal, what do you know about that?
Well, I know a lot about that because my son has Asperger's syndrome.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, my oldest son, he's 26 now. And the only way that I treated him was through nutrition, because when you don't know any better, you refer to your doctor.
Yeah.
But when I saw the Riad with Ritalin, with the Ritalin, I said, no way he's going to take that. So we went through nutrition and homeopathy for him.
Uh-huh. Nice.
So that was pretty, and today you can talk to him. He's a nerdy like me, but in literature. I'm in medicine, he's in literature. Oh,
that's
so,
you guys would be a great team on Jeopardy. I'll take literature and then
and it's wonderful to see how just good nutrition can make a big difference in the way you feel, not the way you look. Yes, because it's in the long run, it happens, the body takes its shape the way it's supposed to be. But I mean, the way that people change in their minds, in their health, the way they feel, that's the magic of it. That's why I'm here. That's why I do what I do, to see that. It's not, is it easy? No, it's not. But I mean, it's worth it, It's really worth it.
It's absolutely worth it. Quality of life is worth it. I mean, if you're willing to sacrifice anything at all to have a better quality of life, this isn't that big of a sacrifice. It's not that big of a sacrifice to get the reward that's on the other side, which is beyond anything beyond how you could ever think that your body could actually feel. Our bodies are amazing, you guys. We're in such a slow downward spiral that we don't realize that we're falling. And our bodies do not feel, when we're in that spiral, they feel like, like tired and groggy and things like that. But that is them trying to fight off these toxins, trying to fight this inflammation in a losing battle. But if you were to give them nutrients, if you were to give them what they need to be good, then, oh, hi, baby. There's my baby. There's my little one.
They'd fight balance. Our bodies are always there to find the balance,
Right.
So when you do have a system, your body is going to try to find the nutrients and the tools that it needs to find the balance. But it's our job to give them the tools to do that.
Right.
If we're not, well, after that, we're going to rely to our doctors, our pharmacists, or, whatever, But the first thing that you need, exactly. Yeah. But it's not a situation that you can say you can't change anything about it.
Right. Right.
You need to do. Yeah, you just need to decide. Right. That's all you need to do. You need to decide that you're worth it.
Yep. You got it. That being said, if you guys have any questions about the juice, we have a juice that we all drink and we all talk about all the time. Chantal has to wait a little while to drink more of hers. Canada reapproving every time a recipe changes. Canada has to reapprove. That's just how they go. It's how they do things. We got much love for you, Canada. But if you wanted to try the juice, if you wanted to go ahead and do this to your system, if you want to start feeling better, let one of us know, let whoever sent this video to you or tagged you in the video, whatever, let them know. Also, make sure that the person that you're signing up with the juice, or that you're buying the juice from, whatever, that they are on Martha Krejci's team. Okay, you see my name spelled right here. That make sure they're on my team, because whenever they're on my team, then you get put into a whole nother group. And that group is, Chantal is in there. It's awesome. We talk about nutrition. We talk about wellness. We're like a supportive community. And it's not just one style of diet or one way of eating. At the end of the day, what works best for you and your system, awesome. We will support that. We will support you in getting healthier, whatever that looks like to you. But that's the only way to get in there, is to be on my team. So that's why you want to make sure that somebody is, or that whoever is helping you with the juice, that they're on Martha Krejci's team. That's the only question you need to ask them. Aside from that, you're golden. Chantal, what would be your last words today for somebody that, I don't know, what would be your last words? Sounded like I was cutting you off.
No, well, like I always say, choose you. That's, and it starts with the gut. So heal your gut first, and you're gonna see a big difference.
You really,
choose you.
That's awesome. Well, there's the mic drop.
Yeah.
Mic drop. All right, everybody, you have an awesome night, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Hey, bye-bye.